Ever tried driving on a road that doubles as a swimming pool, where the potholes are deep enough to swallow a small car? For years, that was the grim reality for many in Liberia. One decent rain, just one tropical downpour, and the main highways would simply surrender, transforming into impassable rivers of mud and frustration. Streetlights? Those were a luxury, an optional extra that most of the country went without. This meant that when night fell, it fell with an unnerving finality. The darkness was absolute, a pitch-black curtain that stifled commerce, community, and a sense of safety. Travel was a gamble, business was a struggle, and progress felt like a distant dream. Fast forward to today, to 2025, and the landscape is undergoing a seismic shift. In some parts of the country, the rhythmic churn of concrete mixers has become a more common sound than the bleating of goats. The air, once thick with dust or damp from stagnant water, now carries the sharp, promising scent of fresh asphalt. Out in places like River Gee, children aren't just learning to read, they're bragging about the number of solar panels their village has, pointing to the silent, gleaming rectangles that power their homes and clinics. The narrative is changing. Project by project, road by road. We need just a few minutes to show you how a nation once tragically synonymous with the deep scars of war and the terror of Ebola is now engineering one of the most remarkable turnarounds on the continent. It's a story of resilience written in concrete, steel, and fiber optics. Forget the old headlines. Liberia is flipping the script faster than you can spell Monrovia. Ready to see it for yourself? Let's hit the road. Literally, our journey begins on what was once a path of pure punishment, the stretch from Gabara to Salea. For anyone who had to travel it, this route was infamous. 81 kilometers that felt like 1,000. The road surface was a brutal mosaic of craters and gullies, a teeth-rattling, suspension-shattering ordeal that could take a grueling 3 hours on a good day, and far longer on a bad one. Every trip was a calculated risk, a battle against the terrain that wore down vehicles and spirits in equal measure. But that's the old story. Today, that same 81-kilometer stretch is a ribbon of brand new, jet-black asphalt. It was a project delivered with stunning efficiency, completed a full 6 months ahead of schedule. Now, that 3-hour ordeal has melted away into a smooth, effortless 55-minute drive. You can set the cruise control, enjoy the scenery, and arrive at your destination refreshed, not wrecked. The impact of this single road is a perfect microcosm of Liberia's larger transformation. Consider the cocoa farmers, the lifeblood of this region's economy. Before, getting their precious beans to the Salea market was a logistical nightmare. They would lose a portion of their harvest to spoilage on delayed trucks, and what did arrive was often damaged from the violent journey. The transport costs were exorbitant, eating deep into their already thin profit margins. Today, those same farmers are, as the script says, laughing all the way to the market. The smooth, fast road means their product arrives quickly and in pristine condition. Their transport costs have plummeted. The result? They're earning a staggering 38% more cash per bag. That isn't just a statistic, it's a revolution in their household income. It's the difference between scraping by and saving for the future. It's the ability to afford better tools, better healthcare, and a better education for their children, all because the road no longer eats their tires and their profits. From there, we can pan out to an even larger artery of commerce and life, the mighty Monrovia-Ganta corridor.
This 180-kilometer lifeline is the economic spine connecting the bustling capital to the country's interior. For decades, it was a symbol of neglect, a journey that could consume 6 agonizing hours. But after a comprehensive resurfacing, that travel time has been sliced in half. A 6-hour trek is now a predictable 3-hour drive. Think about what that means for the flow of goods, services, and people. Roadside vendors, who rely on passing traffic for their livelihood, will tell you their foot traffic has practically doubled overnight. The plantain chips, the grilled corn, the fresh fruit, it's all selling like never before. An economy that once moved at a crawl is now cruising, and the dividends are being felt in every market stall and small business along the way. But progress isn't just about the grand highways. It's also about the intricate webs of community life within the capital itself. Let's zoom into Monrovia, into neighborhoods like Claratown and Slipway. These were the places your taxi driver dreaded, areas where the so-called feeder roads were more like obstacle courses. For residents, this meant isolation. For emergency services, it meant life-threatening delays. Now, 51 critical kilometers of these vital local roads have been paved. They are smooth, reliable, and open. This isn't just a matter of convenience. It's a matter of life and death. Ambulances can now navigate these communities with speed and precision, shaving precious minutes off their response times. And in a medical emergency, when minutes are the stark difference between a baby being born safely in a hospital versus in a hallway, or a patient surviving a heart attack, that smooth pavement becomes the most important infrastructure of all. And for the grand entrance, the first and last impression for any international visitor, there's the Roberts International Airport Highway. This is not just a road, it's a statement. A 68-kilometer, 4-lane expressway, lined with modern, energy-efficient LED lights. This is Liberia announcing its presence on the world stage. The first section is slated to open in late 2025, and once the entire project is complete, the journey from downtown Monrovia to the airport's boarding gate will plummet from a frustrating, traffic-snarled 90 minutes to a swift 25. The ripple effects are already being felt. Airlines, seeing a country that is serious about connectivity, are already jostling for extra landing slots. It turns out the old adage is true. If you build a world-class road to your airport, people will actually come and use it. This highway is more than asphalt. It's a welcome mat for investment, tourism, and a new era of global connection. From the roads that connect the nation internally, we swing down to the coast, to the ports that connect Liberia to the world. The port of Monrovia, the country's primary maritime gateway, has just undergone a massive $120 million glow-up. This wasn't just a coat of paint and some minor repairs. This was a fundamental re-engineering of its capacity and efficiency. The project delivered 2 brand-new berths, allowing more ships to dock simultaneously. The draft has been deepened, welcoming larger, more modern vessels that previously had to pass Liberia by. Most critically, a state-of-the-art digital tracking system has been implemented, replacing archaic, paper-shuffling processes. Now, you can actually track your container in real time, eliminating guesswork and uncertainty. The result of this investment in efficiency is staggering. The average dwell time for a container, the time it sits in port waiting to be moved, has been slashed from a sluggish 14 days down to just 6. This incredible boost in efficiency is projected to pull in an extra $200 million in transshipment revenue every single year.
That's money that flows directly into the national economy, funding more projects, more services, and more progress. Then, travel 120 kilometers southeast to the port of Buchanan. For a long time, this port was a sorrowful sight, a ghost town haunted by the memory of crashing iron ore prices. It stood as a monument to economic vulnerability. But now, the silence has been replaced by the roar of industry. Buchanan is back in business, and it's bigger and better than before. The port is now capable of loading million-ton Cape-size ships, the behemoths of maritime bulk cargo. In a landmark moment, global steel and mining giant ArcelorMittal shipped its first megaton of ore from the revitalized port in January 2025. Signaling a powerful resurgence in Liberia's most vital industry. The comeback is felt most profoundly by the people who work there. The dockers, who once lived a precarious existence as day labor hustlers, never knowing where the next paycheck would come from, now hold permanent contracts. And with those contracts come benefits that were once unimaginable. Get this: health insurance. One worker, his face etched with a mixture of pride and relief, shared that his daughter's university tuition is now completely sorted, a generation's future secured by a parent's stable, dignified employment. If that isn't the definition of a comeback, what is? This renewal extends from the sea to the sky. Roberts International Airport's new terminal is an architectural marvel. It looks, as one observer put it, like a glass tsunami, a wave of curved, gleaming steel and glass that speaks of modernity and ambition. It's not just beautiful, it's twice as busy and twice as capable. The passenger capacity has just doubled to 750,000 people per year, creating a more pleasant and efficient experience for travelers. On the tarmac, the new cargo apron is vast enough to park two massive Boeing 747-8 freighters nose to nose. This isn't just about bragging rights, it's about transforming Liberia's export potential. What does this mean in practical terms? It means that fresh mangoes from the fertile fields of Lofa County can be harvested, packed, loaded, and be on the shelves in a high-end Dubai supermarket within 48 hours. This opens up lucrative new markets for Liberian farmers. The national target for horticulture-related foreign exchange, a cool $50 million a year, a goal that is now well within reach thanks to this gateway to the sky. And connecting the farms to the ports and airports are the rails. While 3 private lines are currently dedicated to hauling iron ore, the government is architecting a more inclusive future with the creation of an open-access national rail authority. Picture it, a single, modernized track serving multiple purposes. In one direction, containers filled with processed rubber zip towards the port of Buchanan for export. In the other direction, on the very same line, farmers from the interior can ship their cassava and other produce to urban markets efficiently and affordably. It's a vision of integrated, shared infrastructure that maximizes value for everyone. Early estimates project this national rail system could be live by 2027 and could single-handedly slash inland haulage costs by a staggering 25%. Of course, none of this, not the ports, not the airports, not the businesses, can function without power. For too long, Liberia existed in the dark. In 2020, only about a third of the population was connected to the electricity grid. The national goal is ambitious but achievable: 70% electrification by 2030. Progress is being made, megawatt by megawatt. The St. John River Extension project in Nimba County just added 9.34 megawatt of crucial power to the grid. But the truly neat trick is the new interconnector that allows Liberia to swap power with its neighbor, Côte d'Ivoire. This is the West African power pool in action, not just in theory. During Liberia's dry months, it can import cheaper hydroelectric power. When the rains come and Nimba's hydro plant is producing a surplus, it can export that power back. It's a smart, symbiotic relationship that ensures a more stable and affordable energy supply year-round. And the energy revolution is happening off-grid too. In the remote counties of River Gee and Maryland, 2,600 solar home systems were installed last year alone. This is changing lives at the most fundamental level. Health centers that once had to deliver babies by the flickering, dangerous light of a candle now have bright, reliable electricity. This allows them to operate safely at any hour and, critically, to power the refrigerators that keep life-saving vaccines viable. The anecdotal evidence from midwives on the ground is powerful. They report that nighttime maternal deaths have been cut in half. A single heartbeat saved is a metric that beats any Excel spreadsheet. Because concrete is great, but people always matter more. The new infrastructure is the skeleton, but the social programs are the heart and soul of this new Liberia. After the Ebola crisis gutted the nation's health system, a new army has been mobilized, an army of healers. Today, 5,500 dedicated community health workers fan out across all 15 counties. They are equipped with motorcycles to navigate the newly improved roads, stipends to support their families, test kits to diagnose illnesses on the spot, and most importantly, the respect of their communities. Their work is having a measurable impact. Child malaria deaths, long a scourge in the region, dropped by a remarkable 18% just last year. In the classrooms, a similar revolution is underway. Brett's Joyful Learning centers are reaching 40,000 children who had previously been left out of the formal education system. Their approach is innovative and humane, using songs, chalk art, and positive reinforcement with a strict zero caning policy to make learning engaging. The results speak for themselves. In just 2 rounds, the completion rate for these students has jumped from 42% to an impressive 68%. And for adolescent girls, who often face the steepest climb, the AIM program is providing a ladder. It has handed seed cash and essential business training to 12,000 young women, empowering them to become architects of their own prosperity. The story of Fatu, a 19-year-old participant, is a testament to the program's power. She started with just $150 in seed money. Today, she runs a thriving 3-acre cassava farm and employs 7 of her neighbors. Now, multiply that story by thousands. It's not just individual success, it's an economic chain reaction, a grassroots movement of female entrepreneurs building a more prosperous and equitable future. Looking ahead, the vision gets even bolder. In early 2026, ground will break on a new 4,000-hectare agro-industrial zone in Buchanan. This is where all the pieces of the puzzle come together. The zone is strategically located right next to the revitalized port, the new rail lines, and the growing power grid. Investors are already lining up, with plans for cocoa butter processing plants, palm oil refineries, and dried fruit production facilities. The economic logic is simple but powerful. Every ton of produce that is processed locally, rather than being exported raw, adds 4 times the value to the Liberian economy. The jobs target for this zone alone is 25,000 by 2032. Meanwhile, along the newly paved Kenjor Janet Brown Road, warehouse receipt silos are being built. These facilities allow small farmers to store their crops safely, use their stored harvest as collateral to borrow cash for the next planting season, and wait to sell when market prices spike. It means less spoilage, more financial leverage, and fewer predatory middlemen. It's simple math that leads to a huge payoff for the rural poor. There is so much more still in the pipeline. Phase 2 of the Ria Highway will add 6 flyovers and full lighting, with completion set for 2027. A massive $300 million dry port is planned for Ganta, strategically positioned to become a logistics hub for 3 nations. An 80-megawatt add-on to the Mount Coffee hydro plant is scheduled for tender in 2026, bringing even more power online. And perhaps most transformatively, a nationwide fiber-to-home internet project, fed by a new undersea cable landing at Robertsport, aims to bring 100 Mbps download speeds to homes and businesses by 2028. This will sling call center jobs into fishing villages and connect Liberian innovators to the global digital economy. And the capstone project, the one that embodies the spirit of connection, is the 1.2-kilometer bridge that will span the river to Côte d'Ivoire. Funding is expected to close in December 2025, with the first cars rolling across in 2029. This bridge will be a conduit for trade, tourism, and daily human interaction. So yes, the international headlines may still sometimes mumble the outdated phrase, fragile state. But on the ground, Liberia is far too busy for that talk. It's busy doing what rising, ambitious nations do best. Pouring concrete, stringing wires, building bridges, and, above all, backing its own people. The Gabara-Salaya Road lifted thousands out of transport poverty. The new terminal at Roberts International is opening the door to the world. Next year, the fiber optic cable landing at Robertsport will unleash a wave of digital opportunity. And once that bridge to Côte d'Ivoire opens, the very idea of being landlocked or isolated will sound like a bad joke from a forgotten era. Next time someone tells you that Liberia is stuck in the past, forward them this story. Tell them to grab a window seat on a flight to Roberts International, new terminal, remember, and then drive into Monrovia on what will be the best highway in West Africa. They won't land in a country that is waiting for the future to happen. They will land in a place that is grabbing shovels and mixing the cement right now. This is a nation under construction, building a stronger, brighter, and more connected tomorrow for all its people. The work is hard, the journey is long, but the direction is clear. Forward.